Hey folks, welcome to another review with yours truly, Sam Healey, right here on the Dice Tower. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate your time and effort being here. Today we're going to be taking a look at Goryo from Gate On Games, and it is basically a cat and mouse game, no pun intended. Yes, it's a feline spirit of mischief, or something to that effect, because you're trying to go around breaking things, the other player is a bunch of samurais trying to stop you. Let's get down to the table and take a look. As I alluded to in the introduction, Goryo is a two-player game where one player is going to be the mischievous feline spirit that is trying to break 5 special objects in the palace, and the other player is going to take the role of these 4 samurai that are trying to exorcise the demon and banish them for all eternity so that they stop breaking all of these special rare objects in the palace. So the Goryo player is going to take this shield, which they are going to be putting in front of their board so that the samurai player can't see what they're doing. But we're not going to use that for the case of this review, just so that we can keep everything on the up and up as far as what's happening in the game. Each round is going to be broken up into 3 phases. The first phase is going to be where the Goryo decides where it's going to go and where its next target object for breaking is going to be on the board. Then, after that's done, the samurai are going to have a investigation phase, if you will, where they're going to be able to use their samurai. They only have 6 actions to basically try to triangulate, if that makes sense, where the Goryo went and which object it may or may not have tried to break that round. And then there's going to be a third discovery phase where the Goryo will remove their screen and actually show where they actually went, and so forth and so on, and we'll get to that in just a few moments. During the Goryo phase, we're going to basically be able to take these 4 white cubes along with the purple target cube, and the Goryo, starting from where they are at the beginning of the game, they're going to be able to place a number of cubes out there denoting where they're going to go on the board. Let's go this way, and we'll go over here like this, and we will end with breaking that one right there. Whenever you place a cube out on the board, you have to take orthogonal moves, and you cannot backtrack on any of the different squares that are on the board, so each square can only have 1 cube. Now, the purple cube is the target. That's the next object that the Goryo wants to break. And these are just where the Goryo is going to go. You do have 2 other special cubes that you can use only once during the course of the game, as long as they worked. Now, the gray cube is basically a sprint cube. The false path token, which is this green cube, determines on whether it works. And basically what you could do is you could place it over here or anywhere else on the board. If the samurai either sniff or investigate that area, you can tell them yes. And that's to kind of give the Goryo the opportunity to try to mislead the samurai. But if it works, where they actually do check or investigate that area, then it's a one-time use. But if they don't check that area, you get it back and you can use it again. We're now going to go into the samurai phase, where they're going to be able to investigate. Now, each samurai has this little pie, and they basically have 4 actions that they can do. They have 2 move actions. They have a sniff action, which the dog that's with them, I guess, is able to sniff sections of the board. And then they also have an investigate action, which is denoted by that magnifying glass. If the blue samurai, for example, uses his sniff action by simply placing one of those tokens over there on it, he can check to see if the orthogonal adjacent spots is one of the spots that the Goryo took along its path. If he instead chooses to use the investigate action, which is denoted by that magnifying glass, he can check the space that he is in. And then movements are simply he can move 1 space in 1 orthogonal direction. as the samurai are doing actions, you can do 1 to 3 actions with 3 different samurai. But once you have started doing actions with one samurai and you choose to go to another samurai and start doing actions with him, you can't go back to the other one. So you do want to make sure that you've kind of exhausted all of your options with one samurai before you go on and decide to start using another. One more caveat, you can never investigate or sniff the area that you know that the Goryo is in. So just keep that in mind. So with this one, maybe with Pink, we want to, first of all, he's going to have his dog sniff right here. Is that one of the areas that the Goryo went? And if we look, yes, it is. So we're going to be able to place one of these green paw prints on that area, denoting that we know that the Goryo went in that area during its turn. And so maybe after that, I will want to do something like, well, let's see, did he move through my area? Did he go this way or did he go that way? All right, so that way we're going to go ahead and say, did you come into this area with my investigation? Yes, I did. All right, so we have a possibly definite trajectory of going down into this room, keeping in mind that we don't know if the green cube was used on either of these places. So it's possible that he could have gone this way and the green cube was here, but we don't know yet. So not knowing, I'm going to go ahead and start using the red samurai now. I think I've got enough information from the pink, and the red samurai is going to go, well, let's see, did you go here? And he's going to say, well, yes, as a matter of fact, I did. And so he's going to get another paw print there. Let's go ahead and move 1 here. And we're going to move 2 here, but we've got this last action. We don't have to use it, but maybe we want to do something like, maybe we know for sure he's in here, so we're going to have the green move 1 direction over that way so that he's closer to try to corner in the Goryo on the next round. So now that the samurai is done, we go to the discovery phase where the screen would be removed, and now we can see exactly where the Goryo went. We're going to move the Goryo over here, and then this token is going to go here, which means that he broke that token, and we're going to flip that over as one of the tokens that has been broken. And now the samurai is going to be able to remove all of the kitty paw tokens, and for each one that they got that were green, they are going to be able to move the gong token that many spaces. So we're going to be able to go 1, 2, 3, just like that. And if we were able to get a samurai in the same space as the Goryo where he broke that target, we're also going to be able to flip over as many tokens as we can. So if we got 2 samurai in the same space, we'd be able to flip over 2. But in this particular case, we only got 1. And so now we look at these bag icons. We have 1, 2 bag icons that we were able to flip over that round. And so that means we're going to be able to take 2 draws out of the bag. And that means we're going to be able to seal those 2 objects. So we have the lanterns are going to be sealed. And then we also have the flowers that are going to be sealed. So both of these are going to be flipped over like so, and both of them are going to be sealed. Now, when you seal an object, you're literally going to take a seal and place it on those icons. And what that means is the Goryo can no longer break those 2 objects. So the 5 that they're trying to get has to be not including those 2 new objects. Now, at the beginning of the game, another thing that, another piece of the puzzle, so to speak, there is 1 token that was chosen by the Goryo to be the object that it is bound to, which means that it cannot break that object. So, but that's kept a secret from the samurai. They don't know. What they're trying to do is they're trying to either capture the Goryo 3 times, which will give them enough chance to expel him from this realm forever, or we're trying to narrow down which one might be its bound item so that we can seal that item and expel him from the this plane of existence. So that's basically what's trying to happen. The Goryo is simply trying to break 5 objects. They don't have to be different objects. They just have to be 5 objects that are broken. And that's basically how you play Goryo. All right, so that's about that for Goryo. It's not a very difficult game at all. I think it's a pretty neat 2-player game that has that real kind of hidden movement, cat and mouse type movement thing. And again, I keep using that as a mechanism, not as a pun. I know that this is a feline character. I'm not trying to be cheeky or anything like that. But that cat and mouse where you have one person moving along and the other person's trying to catch it, a real Tom and Jerry type situation. It is not difficult to learn how to play it. It's not difficult to play it, but it's very restrictive. You only have a certain number of things that you can do as the Goryo, and as the samurai, you're really trying to be very rigid and narrow-minded as far as where you think that Goryo is trying to get to next. There is a good amount of information on the samurai side, so it always feels like you can kind of figure it out, but at the same time, they're all guesses. Now, they're educated guesses, but they still feel a lot like just guessing. And either you guessed right or you guessed wrong. And so that's really the feeling of where it went. It does not take a long time to play. I think the box says that it's only 30 minutes. That's about right. You're probably looking at about 20 to 30 minutes, as long as you're not dealing with any other kind of distractions or things that are pulling you away from the game. If you are focused, both players, and you're looking at about 20, 30 minutes. That's about right. But it pretty much just feels like it's a kind of like a guessing match. Who can guess or move around the most cleverly? If that makes any sense. Let's get to my pros and cons. So my first pro of the game is going to be absolutely, without the shadow of a doubt, the component quality. Now, the artwork was pretty good. I'm not going to decry it at all. It was a good artwork, but most of the artwork, however, was just the objects on the board. I liked the samurai board. The samurai board has some pretty neat artwork on it, on both sides, frankly. But generally speaking, this is going to be on the table, so all you're really looking at for most of the time is this, and it's mainly just objects, although I do like this artwork over here. So the artwork is really neither here nor there, although what is there is good, but the component quality was all good. I love how all of these tokens are wooden. I do like the wooden tokens. I like the small cubes, and I like how they are aesthetically and tactilely, if that's a word, again, pulling it out of the nether regions there. I like the cubes. I like the components. I like everything about it. My second pro is that it is good, simple gameplay. It brings the feeling of Clue or like a museum caper or something to that effect, where it's very simplistic on what you can do and how you move around and what you're really trying to do. But at the same time, it might be a little too simple because there's really not much else going on. Except for the 2 cubes that you have that are available to you, that lets you do a little bit something different on your turn, and you only get those once, really, throughout the course of a game. There's not really a whole lot else to do other than pick your path and hope that the samurai don't catch your trail. That's pretty much it. So it's very simple. and it might be too simple. My third pro is already mentioned. It's the brevity of the game. It does not take a long time to play at all, so there is some good to that. It doesn't take a long time to play, so it's something that you can play in between two other games, or since it's only a two-player game, you could pick this up and play it while you're waiting for some other people to finish one of their games. Maybe you showed up late to a game night or something to that effect, or you also have the opportunity where this is something you can play at home with your significant other, and it's something that I think the both of you will enjoy if you like those kinds of cat and mouse type hidden movement games where one of you is trying to pull something sneaky off and the other person is trying to catch you. That's generally speaking, the breadth of the situations that you could use this in, but it would be useful in those situations. So I think it's a pro. Brevity is good with games like this. Unfortunately, I think that's going to be the end of my pros, and I'll have to start with some cons here. And I already kind of alluded to my first con in the final thoughts section, and I think it's basically it's a guessing match. There aren't a whole lot of places that you can go as the Goryo, so the likelihood that the samurai are going to be able to narrow down quickly where you're going is high. Now, I did play it on both sides, and I was able to win on both sides. So I'm not saying that it's so heavily weighted in the samurai's favor. I'm not saying that at all. I think it is evenly balanced. I just don't think that it's that fun because of how restrictive your movement is and how few spaces there are for you to go on the board. And I guess maybe they did that because it would be too difficult for the samurai if the board were any larger, and I understand that. But unfortunately, it just wasn't very fun in a genre that has a lot of really fun hidden movement games out there. A second con for the game for me was the size of the box. It's a two-player game, and this is about the size of a lot of other multiplayer games, which goes against it. If you have just a two-player game, you usually, at least I usually, want it in a much smaller package than this, so I can take it with me as we go do something together, and we have the possibility of playing it on a smaller playing surface. This has the playing surface of a regular-sized multiplayer board game, and that's unfortunate. I don't think it's a huge con, but for me, it's not what I'm looking for from a two-player experience like this. I usually want a much smaller footprint, and I usually want a much smaller box, and that's unfortunate for Goryo. I think if it were a smaller box, I might give it a little bit of a higher rating because it has more mobility. This one has no difference in mobility from a regular 4 or 5 player game because it has the same size box. That's unfortunate because I think it's missing part of what people are looking for in that two-player genre, and that is compact boxing, compact size, not regular size game. So that's a con. So with all that having been said, I'm going to give Goryo a 6 out of 10. And the reason it's a 6 is because of the component quality and because of the artwork. It would probably be just a 5 if I wasn't so enamored with those two things right off the bat. So it's a 6 out of 10 from me. I did enjoy playing it, but that hidden movement category and that two-player category is a really crowded place, and so you really have to do better than this to really stand out. I didn't not enjoy it. That's not the case at all. I think it's fun-ish, but in order to get a higher rating, it has to really do some other things much better than it did. So that's my rating, a 6 out of 10 here on the Dice Tower. Thanks for joining me. We certainly appreciate you. We'll see you guys and gals on the flip side. Take care.
Hey, everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you like this review or whatever you just watched, wasn't it amazing? Check out our channel, Dice Tower. We have all kinds of things. We review games, we do top 10s, we play games live. It's all about board games, but especially the people who play them. Check out Dice Tower YouTube channel.